Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to teach you on how to use the class in using the basic tools. First, to start off with your name. Make sure that you have your teacher's name here. So you can start by typing in your name here, or you can just put here. Remember to use teachers, put the word teacher, and your name should be in caps lock. Okay. Then after that, make sure that um, your name here or your number here is bound. How to do that? When you when you go this way, and you can see here, supposedly that your number here should be here. It should be the number. If you can see here bind, just click it. You don't need to set your email address. We just need your number here. After that, try to practice using the following. Let me just quick tour you about this. Is the class in home. This is where you can see all the chat messages with everyone that you have messages with. This is also where you can see your lessons. Just like, for example, this one. This is where you can see an example of a lesson. This one it says 15 minutes, which means to say that the class will start in 15 minutes. Once it becomes 5 minutes, then you can see a pop-up button here that says green or that says enter. And then that's the time you can enter your class in or the classroom. This is to do. This is where you can see pending announcement if there is any. You might want to check them and see if there is any messages coming from your superior. Next is the contacts. This is where you can check all the contact numbers or details that you have. This is the drive wherein you can see your lesson materials. Let's get me walk through. This is the document. This is your own class in materials that you can make or create. As you can see here, I have some materials here that I have created, and some of them have been downloaded and uploaded here. This is my resources where you can have your classes or the materials that you will have the access to open with. Next would be the calendar. In the calendar, this is where you can see your classes. As you can see, you have green buttons here, right? Means to say that those are your classes for the month. Next would be the Blackboard. With the Blackboard, if you wanted to practice and navigate using ClassIn, you can start with this. So let's try opening it one by one. But everybody, you have to make sure that this is the classroom layout. Make sure that the classroom layout is set into 3 split screen on the right. You might want to use 3 split screen on the left or on the right, but it would be better if you will use this one. So classroom layout, use 3 split screen on the left. First thing first, you have to highlight it, okay? And let's edit it. How did I do that? You should go to the box or the select button so that you can erase everything. Let's have it one by one. This one is called the cursor, right? The second one is the box or select. This is where you can highlight something. This one is the pencil or the brush. You can use circle or square, circle. You can use underline and you can use curved lines. You may choose the thickness of your pencil or your brush, like this one. All right. Now, if you can notice, we will use the eraser. The eraser can only erase the curved lines, right? But for the straight line, you need to go to the box or the select button. Then highlight them and then delete. The next tools is called the letter T, which is type. Here, you can type your message. You can choose the color that you want, and you can choose the font size that you want. You want it to be bigger? You want to use different colors. Then go back to select and then erase. The next one is the screenshot. You can use a screenshot if you wanted to, for example, highlight something that you wanted to copy and paste it here. Automatically, it's here. Again, let's erase it. The next one is the new style laser point. You might want to use this. This is for the teacher. So it says here that it's already been highlighted, so you don't need to click that. This is the cloud button. This is where you can see the material. Now for our demo, we will be using, let's go to the document. First thing first, you start with, how do you start with your demo? First is the self-introduction. When you do the self-introduction, let's begin by doing it here. Make sure that your camera is big, or so the student, the evaluator who will be watching your video can see you clearly. Then introduce yourself. How do you introduce yourself? You start off with your name, your educational background, your teaching experience, and your expertise. For example, are you expert in teaching IELTS preparation, or general English, or business English? Next, double click your face and it will go back there. The next thing that you need to open is this one. This is the oral test. There, and then using the shift button on your keyboard, use and the mouse, drag your face over here at the side. Then read this one. The last person bought a good catfish. Three other cool people. Crazy Philadelphia television. Words, photo, thief, friends, thing. French fries, camera, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bird, very funny. Computer, movies, musician, November, beard, helpful, helicopter, perfect. After that, you are going to close it by highlighting it again. Means you're done reading. So in my case, we have to prepare something for our students. And that is what you call the award or the reward system. I wanted to use the Elmo. This is Elmo, and this is our reward system. So when you start the class, introduce your lesson, then open the kids. You start with opening the material for adult. This is the material for adult. Make sure you're using the 3 split screen, using your shift on your keyboard, plus the cursor on your mouse. You just have to hover your mouse over here and then drag it back like this. If you can see the yellow boxes, then just release it. Using your camera as well, just release. Then after that, you are going to open the kids material. So let's start with this one. And then we just tag it here. Now, what are you going to do this time is to make it smaller or minimize them. Then what are we going to do? You tell to your student, hi, my name is yadada yadada. That is on the third one. That's the third part will be the demo for kids. For today, remember the KISS. Keep it short and simple. Let's study and play. Look at Elmo. We are going to give Elmo some food. Every time you give teacher good answer, this is for Elmo. Ta-da! Now let's begin. Then start with your lesson. Remember, you have to go to page number 2. Here, you are going to introduce yourself. The title of the lesson. Then after that, introduce yourself. Could you hear me clearly? All right. Now, you can drag your face over here like this and here. What's your name? Now remember, since this is a monologue demo, what you need to do is just pretend that someone is listening to you and that you can think of any name that you want. For example, Bella. I'm Bella. Oh, hi, Bella. How old are you? 4, 5, 6. Oh, you're 6 years old. Oh, say, I'm 6 years old. Wow, very good. Ta-da! Drag your face here using Shift and the cursor. And then let's say, let's give Elmo a pizza. Yum, 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 yum. Then proceed to the next page. Ta-da! Now, you don't need to say, let's go to the next page. You can just say, ta-da, or jump to the next page. Now, let's introduce Mr. Purple. Mr. Purple wants to go into the maze. Then, ta-da! Let's go now to the next page. Sorry, but you don't need to say that. Now, Mr. Purple wants to finish the maze. Let's help him. Hmm. What? A, B, what? C. Wow. Let's A. Learn A, B, C. Okay. Da-dun. And whoop. Let's give Elmo a hamburger. Yum, yum, yum. Then go to the next page. But don't say that. Da-da-da-dun. Whoop. Now let's learn new letters. Uh-oh. What's the letter? Hmm. Uh-oh. Oh, letter A. Say, hi, letter A. Hi, letter A. Now you might want to open this box, the teaching tool, and drop down. Go to teaching material, and you will press ta-da and ta-da. Uh-oh. What's the letter? Small A. What? What's the letter? Big A. Now let's practice. Ready? One, two, three. Big A. Your turn. Hmm? Good job. How about this one? Small A. Your turn. Wow, that was amazing. Now let's give Elmo. What do you want to give to Elmo? Uh-oh, a donut. Hey, Elmo, here's your donut. Then and so on and so forth. Now remember, you have to finish until page 26. So go to page 26, for example, and whoop. Uh-oh, now let's learn and repeat. Pop up. What is that? It's a car. Don't forget to use the TPR for car, as if like you're driving. And then how about this one? Whoop. Oh, say cow. And the last one? Yeah. And da-da-da-dun. Uh-oh, let's give more food to Elmo. Wow, you are amazing. I want you to practice English every day. You did a great job. Always remember that you are amazing. See you next time. Bye. Then go to the second one, which will be the adult lesson material. For the adult lesson, of course, you need to change your voice. Remember voice variation is very applicable for kids, but for adult, you just have to sound and act like you are an authoritative teacher. So, introduce yourself. So you will say, this time I will have the lesson for adult demo, or I will have the demo for the adult lesson material. Let's begin. How do you start with? Begin by introducing yourself and building rapport. But of course, never ever, never forget to mention the technical check. Can you hear me and see me clearly? That's perfect. Before we begin with, I'd like to introduce myself to you. My name is, and I am from. So in my case, I normally introduce myself using let me check if I am here. I always introduce myself by making something like I think I don't have it here. Like a self introduction wherein you can introduce yourself like that. Maybe I don't have it here. So, yeah, but you can start building rapport and don't forget to ask the leading question that is related to the topic. Here, the topic is all about the new kid on the block, which means a new neighbor. So you might want to ask, do you have a new neighbor? How did you make friends with your new neighbor? If the answer is, I don't have a new neighbor, oh, I see. If ever you're going to have a new neighbor, what or how will you introduce yourself? Or how will you make friends with your new neighbor? So something like that. Then you might want to ask, why do you want to improve your English? Of course, always remember to give assurance to your student that he or she comes to the right place and to the right person by saying, don't worry, I'm here to help you and guide you on how to become confident in speaking the English language. So let's begin your journey with me today. Earlier, I asked you about, do you have any new neighbors? Well, because the reason why I asked that is because our topic for today is all about new neighbor. Now, I want you to read the title, please. This is the unit title, Making Friends, and the lesson number one. Now, please read the learning objective. Now, pretend that someone is listening, so you have to pause for 10 seconds. That's right. So, by the end of this lesson, you will be able to start and close a conversation when making friends in your apartment in your building. Now, let's begin. Now, remember, always go to the next page. Or another leading question is that, what can you see in the picture? What do you think are they talking? Do you think they are new neighbors? Or what are they doing? Those are some questions that you might want to ask as a leading question or as leading questions. Now let's have the warm up. What kind of neighbors do you like? You might want to say quiet neighborhood, friendly neighborhood, someone who is like outgoing, like that. Okay. After that, now let's learn the new words and expressions here. What I want you to do is you're going to complete phrases and sentences. All right, you're going to complete the sentences. But remember, never ever say, can you read this? Why? What if the student says, yes, I can, and then pause for a while? Because your question is, can you read that? Of course, definitely we can say yes. But you would say, please read this. Since you are the teacher, you need to drive the lesson by saying or a command. Read this for could you read this for me, please? Or you don't need to say please because you already said could you. So could you please read this? Or could you read this? Or read this. Or let's read this. But never say, can you read it? Definitely it depends on the student's ability or level. There are some students would say, yes, I can. Or do you mind reading this for me? All right. So yeah, let's just be polite when asking our students to read. All right. So the first word is arrange. Again, what do you mean by the word arrange? That's perfect. Good job. Now let's try to complete the sentence. I arranged when I moved to. Now, teachers, do not forget that when you are when the student is reading, and since this is a practice class, we wanted to make sure that you can follow simple instructions. What I want you to do is type in the answers over here. For example, arrange. I arranged my stuff when I moved to another city. Always type the student's answer. But since this is an imaginary, there is an imaginary student, then you pretend that you are the student as well in your mind. So you might want to think of any possible suggestions that you wanted to add here. Then after that, let's skip this one because it's the same as the other one. Then this time we're going to have the speaking naturally, which is number 3, part 1. Let's have the conversation. Could you read the setting? Of course, you have to highlight the setting. All right, perfect. Now, let's have a conversation. Hello there, I am Josh. You must be the new girl. So, you will have the conversation. But first, when you do the conversation, you have to make sure that you will be giving the instruction to your student. For example, I am Josh, you are Emily. Then let's switch the role. The real class should be there be more time, then you can ask the student to do the independent reading. For example, you have already finished until 5 and you think that you still have a lot of time. For example, you still have 10 more minutes. So, all right, so this time let's do the independent reading. What I want you to do is you are going to read all of this again. I will just listen to your pronunciation while you read. Then that's it. Now, let's see your understanding about the topic. Okay, let's have the conversation. Ask this question as well, and ask this question as well. All right, now in my case, what I usually do in my class is that based on your understanding, I want you to give a brief summary of the conversation between the two people or two characters here. So, what happened to the story? Summarize the topic using your own words. In that case, that is a big practice for the student. Remember that we teachers are supposed to speak about 30%, and for the teachers, only 30% for the teachers, and always give a room for practice or for improvement for students. We will just their mentors. We will always guide them. Then after that, it's only 5 pages. You don't need to tackle this during your demo and the last part. But remember that until page 5, right? All right, but remember on the regular classes, you have to finish all of them. Okay? Now, so that's about it. But for example, once you're done with slide number 5 or page 5, give feedback. What's the feedback? Use the sandwich method. 2-2-1. 2 things that the student did well, 2 things that the student need to practice, and 1 piece of advice for the student's improvement. For example, you were very good when it comes to reading. You were able to give a brief summary of the topic of this topic. However, there are some words that you need to practice. For example, the word neighborhood. Say that again, neighborhood. And the other word here is landlord. Now, during the practice demo, always correct the student's mistake. Since this is an imaginary student, you have to imagine, you have to already have this mispronounced words the student might say. So you can think of that. And of course, don't forget to give corrections to our students. And of course, don't forget to say that remember that English is power. If you wanted to become successful in your finding a better job, if you want to get a higher score in IELTS, then you have to practice English. I can be your speaking partner, and together, let's be the best speakers of English. So, I hope to see you again in our next lesson. Thank you very much, and please do enjoy the rest of the day. So that's it. That's how you're going to do the demo. I started with navigating up to the things that you need to do. All right, so guys, let's go back to the tools. Remember that this one is the chat. You can utilize the chat if you wanted to say something to the student. For example, the student doesn't understand you. What you're going to do is, I love, for example, I love English. And the student doesn't know that. So what are you going to do? The student would right click it and they will translate that to their own language. All right. So you have to utilize the chat box. But this one is for the group class. For the meantime, we will not use this. All right. So after that, once you're done, remember, once you enter the classroom 5 minutes before the monologue demo starts. And then you have to start when the click start, it says it started. And then finished like that. If you can see the countdown, when the red number starts counting, then you have to stop. Make sure on the 39th minute, you are already doing the wrap up. And you just have to click this part. All right. But before you enter, you have to make sure that you are going to, let me just erase this one. So remember to do the device test. How do you do the device test? You have to go to the settings. This is the first thing that you need to do. Go to the settings, go to device testing. As you can see here, for the device testing, make sure that the network delay is and the loss rate is in green, meaning your internet and your PC are good. Both are both are in working condition. Or yeah, they are good to go. Okay. Next, go to the next button. Remember that you're using the A Protect camera or whatever your camera is. In my case, I can't see it because I'm using this one. So again, or this one. There you go. Now, after this, you can see able to view. If you can see here, it's already green, already green. Let's go to the next one, which is the play button. Now, let me share the sound. So let's see all together. Again, I can hear the keyboard. I can hear the thunderclap. That's the keyboard. So you just have to press the keyboard, meaning your speaker is good. Then able to hear. The next thing is record. If you can see the green bar moves here and you can hear your own voice, you have to click record. Then start counting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then able to view and hear. Now this is what you can see now. Device condition is normal. Okay. Make sure that all of these are in green before you can come up with your own demo. Otherwise, if one of these is red, which means to say that you cannot go on with your demo, you need to fix it. All right, so that's it. So remember, we are very particular when it comes to your system, especially with the internet connection. We wanted to avoid, we don't want to be complained. So that's why we wanted to avoid any negativity things that may affect our classes. So that's it. So I hope you learned from me and thank you very much. Break a leg, you guys can do it. Bye.